Okay, it is the next day after I got done spraying the doors, and everything turned out, I would say, very nicely. So now it's time to finish this project up. The first step I like to do is I like to install the drawer boxes first, and you'll see why later on as we go along to finish this up. So here's one of the drawer boxes. This is already installed. And I couldn't get a 15-inch runner, so we got 14-inch runners on a 15-inch drawer, but it works fine. It brings the drawer just about all the way out. And it's got that soft close on it, so when it gets to the very end, it pulls it in nice and tight. So I'm going to give you the basics on how to install a drawer box. And one of the first things you want to do is I make up these props. And what they are is boards that are the same height as your rail, and they will basically sit underneath. There you go. They will sit underneath of the drawer bracket to hold it up temporarily while you're doing all your alignment. So that's your first thing. You want to cut two of these, one for the left, one for the right. Another thing you have to determine is the height on where you're going to put your drawer runner, the side mount onto your drawer. So I'm going to show you that here next. I got to go get a couple parts, and I'll talk to you then. Okay. Now, most side mount drawer runners, you can buy optional rear mounting plates, and these basically hold this to the back of the drawer or the back of the cabinet. This part here will screw into the face frame. So what you want to do first is you want to come up with a height. So what I always do is lay it on the workbench, find your first set of holes, and then make a pencil line. Okay, now whatever this number is here, you want to deduct about 1/8 of an inch so that your drawer will sit up 1/8 of an inch. So in this case, 3/4 inch plywood works, I mean, absolutely perfect. So first step is just to trace a nice dark line so you can see it real well. And you're going to, at this point, you're going to pick a front of the drawer. So get out your, this comes right out of your drawer runner. And basically, holding this right here, there's a bent end and there's an open end. You want to hold this nice and flush with your face of your drawer, and wasn't really ready here. And we're going to get the impact gun, and it's set up with slots that go this way or this way. If you go dead center on that line you drew, this will allow you to adjust it in and out. So sort of go center on that. And you want to be nice and flush here. So I leave it slightly loose. You can wiggle a little bit to get it into place. Once you're satisfied with that, go ahead and do the same thing to the back. In a drawer this size, you're only going to need about 4. Okay, this is step 1 done. Repeat the same thing on the other side. Now we're going to go over to the cabinet, and I'm not sure how good you're going to be able to see this, but we're going to try anyway. Now I have a Vicks bit which will drill center. You'll see why here in a second. So you put your back plate on, you set it on your little temporary stand, and it just don't want to cooperate here. The reason this is being so difficult, this is a 14-inch runner. It should have been a 15. I couldn't get one. So now you want to expose that hole you're going to go into, and you're going to get your Vicks bit, and you're going to poke into that hole And then we're just going to put a temporary screw in there, and then we're going to put a screw in the back of that bracket back here. So we're going to go ahead and get that done, and then I'll show you how everything goes together here in a second. So this is just going to take a minute. All right, we're back here, and I got both sides of the brackets in place. They're just resting on these props that I made up to hold them in place. And there's a reason for this. You'll see here in a second. We're going to go ahead and put the drawer in. And it's amazing, if you size everything properly, it actually fits. Next step we need is to get a straight edge. We want to make sure that this is sitting nice and level up here. And what we want to do is we want to go across the front of this, making sure that this drawer, and I can see in this case, it has to move over to one side. Okay, now we're looking really good. So once you got it set where you want it, you're going to get a pencil and go to the back side of that bracket, make a line on both sides. Now you're going to pull the drawer open, and we're going to put one screw in just one side to start with. This thing just don't want to cooperate today. Sometimes it takes a few hands to do this. We're going to get the impact gun here, making sure that that runner's resting down tight on there to the edge of your line, and just run one screw in. Okay, now you can pull your prop out. We're going to check it again. And I can see, okay, there we go. And you're not going to get it much better than that. That's just about absolutely perfect. So we're going to go ahead to the other side. And we're going to grab, I guess this will work. Again, making sure it's on that witness line that you made. Make sure it's on the prop, nice and tight. And go ahead and send a screw in. And there you go. We'll repeat this process for the last drawer, and then we're going to hang the 3 lower doors. So we'll be with you when we're ready to do the doors. We're going to go ahead and go to the drilling machine and drill the hinge pockets in and show you how all that's done. I'll see you then. All right, now that the drawers are installed, I like to lay out the doors just roughly on the cabinet, just looking for any defects that you want to hide. And at this point, you can put anything you don't like at the very bottom and no one will ever see it. So, and also it gives you an idea if you want to switch anything as far as grain. I'm pretty much happy the way it's sitting there. So the first step is we're going to drill the holes. And the machine that I have will drill 3 holes. It drills a 35mm hole, which is your cup size. Then it drills 2 little tiny holes. I think they're 3mm. And what it does is it lines up your hinge so that it sits absolutely, not like this, but absolutely perfectly square with your door. So let's go over to the drilling machine and let's go poke a couple holes in this door. So we'll get the camera set up here and we'll see you at the drill press. Okay, we're ready to drill some holes. This machine has stop set up in it. So if you can see that stop right there, that is going to index the perfect place for the hole, and that will go top and bottom. So as we put the door in, it'll hit that stop, and then we go to the other side and it'll hit the other stop. So let's go ahead and drill a couple holes. Again, not everybody's going to have a machine like this. And I was lucky enough that there was a shop down the road for me that had closed their doors, and I was able to buy this, very reasonable, because these are very expensive machines. And you'll see the air clamps will come down, and then the head will come down and drill the 3 holes. Release the clamps. And we're going to come back to this other set of stops. We're going to make sure we're not going in too deep here. That edge profile sometimes gets a little tricky, so I like to just try to get the clamps to set first and double check it. Then we'll go ahead and drill these. And that's how fast you can get a set of holes drilled. So let's go back to the workbench and we'll put the hinges in and mount these doors. Okay, let's talk hinges for a minute. This is a concealed hinge. It's face frame mounted and it's adjustable. It goes up, down, in and out, gives you all your adjustment you need. Now, I use a soft close, and this will come very slowly, soft close, but these are pretty powerful. So what I like to do is put one soft close hinge and one regular hinge that don't soft close, and that sort of corrects the problem. Otherwise, them doors sometimes they take just a little bit too long to close. So we'll go ahead and you can see it's nice when you have all three of your holes already done. All right, and that takes care of that. Now we'll get set up at the cabinet and I'll show you how I align everything, and we'll go ahead and attach this door. All right, we're ready to set the first door, and what I like to do, and it takes an extra minute, is set your door into place. And I clamp the board down the bottom. It's a 2-inch face frame. I want a 3/4 inch overhang, so that's 1.25 inches. And this hinge is a 3/4 overlay, so we're doing that all the way around. So you're going to just trace this on here, and that's the one I already did. Take your door back off, and we're going to put a little bit of a pilot hole in here. We're not going to go too deep, but we don't want this face frame to have any chance to split at this point. And I'll show you, I have a special screw that is strictly for these hinges. And if anything you want to take your time on is this. This will make or break your cabinet work. Okay, now I'm going to go and take this clamp off. And we'll work our way down the line, and then we'll make the final adjustments. So we'll go ahead and get the rest of the doors hung, and we'll talk to you then. Okay, we're coming down the home stretch here. This is the same board I had at the bottom. It's 1.25 inches. This will give us our 3/4 inch overhang. This is what they call a drawer front screw. It has a big washer on it. And what you do is you drill your holes very large so that you can move your drawer front to give it final adjustment. So with the drawer box closed and this drawer front touching the very top of this stop. Now, it's a little tricky with these smaller drawers, but you want to line the edge of the drawer up with the edge of the door. If I can make myself real small, I could get in there nicer. And we're going to do making sure that this is exactly where we want it, and we're going to just snug it up. We're going to do one on the other side, and this is looking really close. So we're going to come on this side We're going to do one on the same bottom. You just want to snug them up good. Take your board off. And now your drawer is absolutely been centered up real nice. And you can loosen them screws back up and you can fine tune this. But right now it's absolutely totally flush. And once we get them done, the customer still has to pick their handles. I'm not sure if they're going to put a single knob on the drawer, what they're going to do on this yet. So, and the only other thing left to do is the bumpers. And I buy these by the, literally by the hundreds. I don't know how many's on a pad, but basically this is the silencers, and you only need on a drawer one on each side. Nothing like hearing the sound of a drawer and a door slamming. And the same thing. And then all it's left to do is we got to cut a shelf for it, which I'm not going to show. That's a little. But there you go. And I'm hoping everybody liked this video. This was a little lengthy video. I'll give you one more shot whenever I got the other two fronts put on, and then we'll talk to you in a couple minutes here. But it's turning out pretty nice. We'll be with you then. Okay, there it is. The rest of the drawer fronts have been attached, and just give you a little front view of everything now that it's been put together. And it was a fun project to do. And if you have any skills, there's not too many things that someone could not build. Cabinet making, when I was 12 years old, I worked for some old Italian cabinet maker, and he said a cabinet is nothing more than a decorated box. And that's pretty much what it is. You build a box, you put some doors, put some drawers in it, and there you have it. So I hope everybody enjoyed this video, and we'll see you back in the wood shop with another project. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye-bye.